Well, hello there. How y'all doing this fantastic Friday? It's November 17th, the year 2023. It's the start of the weekend, right? Well, it depends. What day you're watching this. Anyway, I'm Mazske Finance. I'm going to talk to you today about how you can go 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let's get wealthy and let's get healthy. Yeah. Hopefully you're doing well. And once again, I'm Mazske Finance, coming to you from south of the border. And I am not a financial advisor, I'm not a CPA, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a nutritionist. My goal is to help you to learn how perhaps you may become both wealthy and healthy. Because Mazske Finance is this blue collar guy who, in his humble way, later in his life, went from never making more than $52,000 a year to being a multi-millionaire without anybody giving it to him, without anybody giving him handouts. Mazske Finance will tell you over time how he had some health issues as he hit his early 50s. But through the miracle of eating a correct diet and exercising and minimizing stress and drinking green tea and other things, he perhaps has turned his health around. So, with that being said, what do I mean by 1, 2, 3, let's go get wealthy, let's get healthy? I'm saying we need to get started now. No matter who you are, no matter where you are in this journey of life, no matter where you are in your progression to becoming wealthy, maybe you've saved your first emergency fund. Great. Maybe you haven't saved a cent and you're in debt. Not so great. Maybe you're one of the, I don't know what the numbers are, 50, 60, 70% of Americans who are obese. Not so great. Maybe you're one of the smaller percentage of Americans who are in an elite physical condition. Great for you. Maybe you are like a lot of Americans and you fall somewhere on the spectrum of life in regards to wealth and health. You probably learned, you probably read, you probably saw on TV the story back when you were a child, the tortoise and the hare. Do you remember the hare? He could run fast. Remember the tortoise? He just kept plugging along. Knowing what I know now, when I was 20 years old, if I had started plugging along on my journey to wealth and health, probably by the time I was 30, I would have been wealthy, I would have been healthy, and I'd be progressing. Like now, instead of being just a low-level multimillionaire, I'd be a multi-millionaire if I had just started copying the turtle back when I was 20 years old. It's so simple, so simple. Other YouTubers will make it complicated. Other YouTubers may say, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. All I'm saying is spend less than you earn. Whatever you earn, spend less. Take the money that's left over, put it towards investments. But before you put it into investments, do try to build up some cash. It could be, in quotes, your emergency fund. What if something happens? What if you lose your job? Can you pay your mortgage? Can you pay your rent? Can you feed your family? Can you pay your bills? You need some cash saved up in the bank. Some people will say a couple months worth, okay? But now let's say you can get there and you gotta work on paying down debt. Debt, you can get yourself dug in a hole with debt. So you got to work on getting out of debt. And there's a variety of strategies to use to get out of debt. I'm not going to discuss them in this video. But as you're paying down debt and as you're building up an emergency fund, start thinking about investing. Can you buy a rental house? Let me ask you this. Are you currently renting? Do you currently own a house of some sort? If you do, and you're still struggling with debt, paying it down and trying to save up money, can you do something like this? Can you, if you own a home, can you rent out a bedroom? Can you rent out a basement? Can you rent out a casita in your backyard? If you are renting, can you work towards getting a first-time home buyer's loan, first-time mortgage, and buy a duplex, a triplex, a quadplex, or a single-family home with the intentions of renting out extra space? If you have a single-family home, buy it with the intention of renting it out, or buy it with the intention of living there for at least 1 year, then perhaps moving out, rent it if the numbers work, and buying another one. Or if you buy that duplex first, you live in one unit, you rent the other side. It's easy. You can do it. Look around wherever you live. Now, if you live in California, it's a little different, or one of those expensive markets. But look around where you live, all these single-family homes, all these people. They might be your peers, your coworkers. They're trying to buy their first home. They save, they scrimp. They're so happy when they get their first home. If all of these people, and maybe you're one of them, if you bought your first home and it's a rental home, it's either you're renting your extra bedroom, your basement, or you're renting the other side of your duplex, whatever it may be, you are now on the property ladder and you now have more income coming in. Along the way, because we mentioned work, you're working a job. Let me ask you this. You could be a cop. You could be a firefighter. You could be a factory worker. You could be an office worker. You could be a retail worker. No matter what job you're, or a tech worker, no matter what job you're working, let me ask you this. How often does someone bring in a box of donuts? How often does someone bring in pizza? It's Friday. How often do you go to families' homes and they have dinner for you and you have dessert, cakes or pies or cookies or whatever it may be? How often do you go out and about and there's just things to snack on that are sweet? Let me throw out 3 magical words: sugar, white flour, saturated fat. Sugar, white flour, saturated fat. If you could eliminate all 3 of those, if you could eliminate 75% of all 3 of those, if you could eliminate 50% of all 3 of those, if you could eliminate 25% of all 3 of those, you will be progressing towards health. Those 3 things cause a multitude of problems. Probably almost every single disease out there, from high blood pressure to dementia to Alzheimer's to Parkinson's to cancer to heart disease. Those 3 things: white flour, sugar, saturated fat. What's the easiest one to cut out? We're all different. We're all different. How many of y'all love bread? That's the white flour. How many of y'all love that sweetness, that milkshake, that ice cream cone, that cookie, that pie, that pastry, that cheese Danish, that donut that your coworker brought in to give you? How many of you like to put sugar in your coffee? You know, how many of you like that prime rib, that steak, that juicy hamburger? You know, I know, I've been there. I've eaten everything I just mentioned. And it caused me problems. It takes time. It accumulates from the time you're 10 years old, 5 years old, all your life. By the time you're in your 30s, if you're still doing this, there's damage inside of you already. There have been studies going back, I think to the Vietnam War. Young soldiers that were killed in Vietnam, 18, 19 years old, they would do autopsies when they could recover their bodies sometimes. And they would find they had high cholesterol. I remember reading that back when I was a teenager in the 80s. Teenagers from the 60s had high cholesterol that were killed in Vietnam. Some of them, not all of them, some of them. It's worse now than it was then. There are people that are kids at 12 years old getting diabetes, sugar, saturated fat, and white flour. So I'm not going to go into detail on how to eliminate all 3 of those. It's common sense. Look at your supermarket. Read labels. You buy a box of cereal. at the sugar content. When you buy tomato sauce, pasta sauce, look at the added sugar. When you buy peanut butter, when you buy ketchup, look at the added sugar. Eliminate the added sugar. Along the same lines, look at salt content, but we're not going there yet. Eliminate white flour, minimize white flour. Use whole wheat, sourdough, rye bread, 100% whole wheat bread, that kind of thing. Whole wheat, if you have to use, like make pastries, you bake, whole wheat flour, almond flour, that kind of stuff. Saturated fat. The only fat, we all need fat. We don't need saturated fat. Salmon, wild caught salmon, gives you omega-3s. That'll give you omega-6s also, would give you omega-3s. Along the way, while you're doing this and you're eating your berries and you're putting turmeric is anti-inflammatory, you're putting it in your coffee with a little dash of black pepper. While you're doing all this, you're also saving money. So you can get that first rental house. So every day when you get up, you make your morning cup of coffee, sprinkle a little bit of pepper, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of cinnamon, just a little bit. Sprinkle it in your cup before you pour the first cup. If you drink a second cup of coffee, sprinkle it in the second cup. Learn to use black pepper and turmeric liberally in your cooking. Your body will thank you. Learn to put away the extra dollars. Learn to spend less than you make. Save the extra dollars, then learn how to invest the extra dollars. As you're investing the extra dollars and you get positive cash flow like you do with rental property, you don't get that with growth stocks, you get it with rental property. As you're getting that positive cash flow, you save it up. Then you can buy that second rental faster than you bought the first. Now you got 2 rent checks coming in. You save them up. And you just keep repeating. Rinse, repeat. Rinse, repeat. Meanwhile, I'm drinking green tea. I sprinkled in here some cinnamon with my powdered green tea. And I put in 3 cloves. You know what cloves are? Cloves are added flavor to chewing gum sometimes and other stuff. Put in 3 cloves. I think I see one of them down there. The others are probably dissolved. Cloves are healthy for you. Cinnamon's healthy for you. Green tea is healthy for you. I've said it before, I'll say it again. What's the point of getting wealthy if you can't be healthy? What's the point of being worth $10 million if when you're 65 years old, you can't play with your grandkids because you're huffing and puffing and you're out of shape and you drop over one day from whatever? What's the point of being worth $100 million, having a great time, eating out every day and doing this and doing that and doing this and doing that, and you die from cancer when you're 70? The human body potentially can live to be 120 years old. Us Americans, we're dropping off. The lifespan of Caucasian males dropped over the past couple of years. A couple of reasons that I read. COVID and drug overdoses. So the average lifespan of white males, and I think males in general, dropped for the first time in a long time. Stay healthy. Just because if the average is 76 years old, 77 years old, can you make it to 90, 95, 100? I know if you're young, it's too far in the future. You can't, your mind can't think that far in the future. I understand. I was young before. Look back one time. No matter what your age is, look back. If you're 25, you've lived for 25 years. If you live 25 more years, that's just how long you've lived already. You live 25 more years, now you're 50. If you're 32, live 32 more years, you're 64. If you're 37, live 37 more years and you'll be 74. See where I'm going with this? If you can save $5 a month right now to save because money's tight, do your best to get it up to 10. Get it up to 15. Get it up to 20. Get it up to 50. Get it up to 100. Just let it keep compounding. All right, just let it keep compounding. All right, so that being said, 1, 2, 3, let's go. Let's get started. Let's get wealthy. Come on, boys and girls. Let's get wealthy and let's get healthy. Don't let the naysayers hold you back. Don't let your negative thoughts hold you back. Let's get wealthy and let's get healthy. And with that being said, Masky's going to head out. His gardener's out there working somewhere, and he might check on him real quick. Yep, Masky has a gardener. Masky has a gardener and a pool guy. So that being said, have a great day. Masky's signing out.